In a quiet village where secrets run deeper than the river, two sisters walk toward forbidden waters. Only one returns. But the truth follows like a shadow. Welcome to African Tales by Khal, where African stories come to life. Subscribe and join our storytelling family. The morning mist lay over the village of Okuta like a thin blanket when Omi tugged at her sister's arm. "Come with me," she said quickly, forcing a smile. "We need more water. I heard River Tela is cleaner than the other streams." Her voice was soft, but her eyes held a strange excitement. Nea, the younger sister, hesitated. "Mama said we must never go near River Tela," she whispered. But Omi leaned in closer and whispered, "Do you think I would lead you into danger? Trust me. No one will know." They walked down the narrow footpath, the early birds chirping above them. Nea skipped a little, her calabash swinging by her side. "The air feels strange today," she murmured. Omi forced a laugh. "You always worry. Try to relax." But inside her chest, jealousy throbbed like a beating drum. Every villager loved Nea. She was the one people praised. She was the one boys offered help to. She was the one mama always served the biggest piece of meat. Omi could feel it like a stone in her throat. When they reached the riverbank, Nea gasped. River Tela was silent, too silent. Mist hovered over its surface like a sleeping spirit. "Maybe we should go back," she whispered. "The elders said the river takes things. Even people." Omi stepped behind her, her voice low and sharp. "You think everyone loves you because you're kind and gentle. You think you shine brighter than me." Nea turned, confused. "Omi, what are you saying?" With a sudden shove, Omi pushed Nea toward the water. "You think you're the only one Mama sees," she snapped. Nea's cry sliced through the air. "Omi, please don't." Her hands stretched out, desperate for balance. The river did not splash. It swallowed her whole in silence. 1 second she was there, the next she had vanished into the mist. Omi stood trembling at the river's edge, her chest rising and falling. She did not feel victory. She felt only a cold emptiness. Suddenly, she let out a scream, tearing her wrapper as she ran. "Help! Someone help!" The water took Nea. Villagers rushed to her. "Where? How?" Omi sobbed loudly. "She slipped, and I tried to save her." Her voice cracked, but inside she felt hollow. The villagers ran to River Tela. But the water remained calm and silent, as if nothing had happened. No calabash. No ripple. No sign of Nea. Her mother collapsed to the ground. "My child. My light," she wailed. Her father dropped to his knees, gripping the dirt with shaking hands. "She was just a child," he whispered. Days passed. Grief covered Okuta like a heavy cloud. Nea's mother stopped eating. Her father stopped hunting. People spoke Nea's name softly, almost like a prayer. Yet something strange was happening to Omi. At night, she heard dripping water even when the room was dry. Sometimes she felt cold river mist against her skin. Other times, she heard a faint whisper. "Omi, why?" One night, she woke to find the floor wet beneath her feet. Written in the water was one single word. "Why?" Omi's voice trembled. No, it wasn't supposed to be like this." She ran outside, gasping for air, but the wind carried a sound that froze her blood, a soft, familiar giggle. Nea's giggle. Across the hills, far from Okuta, a fisherman named Daro stood waist-deep in a calm stream near the village of Yuma. As he pulled in his net that morning, he frowned. "This is heavy," he muttered. When he finally lifted it, his eyes widened. A girl was tangled inside, her wrapper torn, her hair plastered to her face, her body limp. "By the spirits," he breathed. "Someone is still breathing." He carried her to a small bamboo hut and laid her gently on his woven mat. For days, she drifted between life and death. Daro called his older sister, Mafa, a healer known throughout the region. Mafa crushed herbs, warmed stones, and massaged Nea's limbs. She stayed by her side, whispering, "Return, return, your spirit is needed here." On the third night, Nea opened her eyes. Her voice was raspy. "Where am I?" Daro handed her water. "You're safe," he said softly. "The river sent you to me." When Nea finally spoke, her voice trembled. "My sister pushed me," she whispered. "She wanted me gone." Daro lowered his gaze, anger flickering in his eyes. "You don't have to return to that pain yet," he said. Mafa sat beside Nea, gently rubbing her shoulder. "Stay here until your heart is strong," she advised. Sometimes wounds of the heart take longer than wounds of the flesh. Meanwhile in Okuta, grief stole color from the world. The drums stopped. The children played quietly. Even the market women, known for gossip and laughter, now whispered only when needed. But Omi was different. She walked through the village expecting admiration. Instead, people stepped aside when she passed. Their eyes followed her with uneasiness. One afternoon, Omi overheard two women speaking behind a fence. "It feels like Nea took all the light with her," one said. "Even Omi seems strange now." The second woman nodded slowly. There is something cold behind her smile. Omi froze, anger rising in her throat like bile. "They think I'm strange?" Her hands shook. At night, she sat on her mat, staring at the dark corners of her room. "Everything was supposed to change," she whispered to herself. "They were supposed to love me." A soft drip sounded behind her. She turned slowly. Water streaked down the wall, forming letters. "I remember." Omi screamed and backed away. Across the hills in Yuma, Nea grew stronger. Each morning, she fetched water from the stream with Daro. He spoke little, but his presence felt steady and safe. One morning he finally asked, "Will you go back someday?" Nea watched the water flow between her feet. "I must," she answered. "My parents deserve the truth." Daro's eyes carried concern. "And what about Omi?" Nea looked toward the hills. "Only the truth can decide her fate." Mafa stood nearby, listening quietly. After a moment, she said gently, "Truth has a way of rising, the same way a body rises through water, slowly but surely." Days turned into weeks. One day, an elder passing through Yuma stopped abruptly when he saw Nea. His eyes widened. "Child, what is your name?" he asked. "Nea," she replied softly. The elder dropped his staff. You were swallowed by River Tela. Okuta mourns you." Nea's heart twisted. "Please," she whispered, "not yet. I'll return when the time is right." But news travels like wind. Within days, Okuta was buzzing. "Nea is alive," children shouted. A hunter dropped his spear. "Alive!" A woman clutched her chest. "Spirits be praised." Joy spread like wildfire. Except inside Omi's room. She sat still, her nails digging into her palms. "She's alive," she whispered. "How? Why?" The night before Nea's return, the wind burst through Omi's window, scattering her calabashes across the floor. A voice echoed through the darkness. "Omi!" She covered her ears. "Stop! Omi! I remember." The voice was soft, but it wrapped around her like icy hands. The next morning, Nea walked into Okuta. She stepped through the village gate wearing a simple wrapper and neat braids. Her steps were slow, steady. A guard stared, mouth open. "It's her," he whispered. "It's really her." Women dropped bundles of firewood. Children squealed and ran toward her. Her mother saw her from across the compound. She fell to her knees, sobbing. "My daughter! My light!" She held Nea tightly, afraid she might disappear again. Nea's father held her face in his hands. "We thought you were taken forever," he whispered. Omi watched from the doorway of her room. Her breath caught in her throat when Nea looked her way. Their eyes met. There was no anger in Nea's eyes, only truth. Omi's knees weakened. She backed into the shadows. The villagers gathered around Nea. A drumbeat filled the air, stronger than before. "Tell us what happened," someone shouted. Nea stepped forward, her voice calm and steady. "I did not fall into the river," she began. "I was pushed." Gasps spread through the crowd. Mothers covered their mouths. Children clutched their father's wrappers. The eldest elder stepped forward. "Who pushed you?" Nea's eyes shifted toward Omi. Omi stumbled out of the doorway. She was pale as chalk. She stuttered. "I just wanted," her voice broke. Nea continued. "She told me to trust her. I followed. She pushed me into River Tela." Omi fell to her knees. Tears spilled down her cheeks. "I was tired of being ignored," she cried. "Everyone loved you. I wanted to be seen. I wanted to be loved." The elder looked at her with sadness. "Love does not grow from another's suffering." Omi lifted her hands in surrender. "I am guilty." There was no fight left in her. Only regret. The elders turned to each other. They did not believe in blood punishment. They believed in growth, not destruction. "Omi," the elder said, "you will not be cast out forever. But for 7 moons, you will serve in Yuma. You will fetch water for widows. You will cook for orphans. You will learn humility." Omi nodded through her tears. "I accept." Before she left, Nea approached her. The villagers watched in silence. Nea held her sister's hands gently. "You didn't need to take my light to be seen," she whispered. "We could have shared it." Omi broke down, crying into Nea's palm. "I'm sorry," she whispered. For the first time since childhood, her apology was real. Naya touched Omi's cheek. Walk in light, Omi. Not in shadows. Omi lowered her head and began her journey to Yuma, escorted by elders. With every step, she felt the weight of her actions. Life slowly returned to Okuta. Drums filled the morning air again. Children played in the dust. Market women laughed with loud voices. Naya helped her mother in the garden and sat with her father by the fire at night. Meanwhile in Yuma, Omi carried water jars, swept compounds, cooked for crying children. At first, widows avoided her. That's the girl who pushed her own sister, they whispered. But as days passed, Omi changed. She woke up before sunrise. She worked in silence. She apologized often. She never complained. One little orphan girl, shy and barefoot, tugged Omi's wrapper one afternoon. Thank you for cooking for us, she said. Omi's throat tightened. No one had thanked her in a long time. She knelt beside the child. I want to learn how to be better, she whispered. The little girl smiled. Then you already are. For the first time in her life, tears of hope formed in Omi's eyes. Back in Okuta, Naya sometimes stood at the riverbank of Tela. She no longer feared the water. She whispered to the wind. You carried me to safety. The river remained still, as if listening. One evening, when the sky was painted red, Daro and Mafa visited Okuta. Naya smiled when she saw them. You came. Daro looked at her with quiet pride. We said we would. The villagers welcomed them even before Naya introduced them. Mafa hugged Naya's mother. Your child carries a strong spirit, she said. Her mother smiled through grateful tears. Thank you for bringing her back to us. Daro stood beside Naya as the evening breeze brushed their faces. What will you do now? He asked. She looked at him, her voice calm and sure. I will live. I will love. And I will forgive. 7 moons passed. Omi returned to Okuta. Her posture was humble, her eyes softer. The villagers watched her quietly. She bowed her head. I do not expect your praise, she said. Only a chance to live differently. Naya stepped forward and placed a hand on Omi's shoulder. Welcome home. There was no anger. No resentment. Only peace. The crowd watched as the 2 sisters stood side by side. Finally, one of the elders spoke. Let this village learn from their story. Love grows where pride cannot live. As the moon rose, Naya and Omi sat beneath the big tree, where they used to play as children. Omi whispered, Thank you for forgiving me. Naya smiled softly. Forgiving you freed me too. And so, the village of Okuta never forgot the lesson written in the lives of 2 sisters. Jealousy is a fire that burns the one who holds it. Love is a light that grows when shared. Please like, subscribe, and share.